Happy Monday morning to you folks. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Dave Keefe and this is Avernus Biker Lifestyle. Now this is video number 7 in the series on how you can make extra money online to fund your biker lifestyle. And this morning I wanted to touch a subject that puts a lot of people off reselling online, and that is paying your taxes. Over the weekend I got my email off our lovely tax man inviting me to complete my tax return for 2019-2020. Before I started reselling, it's something that always daunted me as well. I'm not the most clued up person as far as all that's concerned. I'm by no way, stretch or form, an expert in tax or tax law or anything like that. But it's something that has to be done, particularly if you're going forward and selling online as a business, if you're selling anywhere on business as a business. Now my understanding of it, if you're selling on eBay particularly and it's your own stuff, it's stuff that you've bought for yourself, you've had use of it, you can sell it on eBay and there is no tax due on that. Essentially you've already paid the tax on it. That's my understanding, and I'm fairly confident that's the case. But like I say, if you're buying stuff specifically to make profit on it, then you have to pay tax on that profit. Now, like I say, I won't go into too much depth on it for two reasons. One, I'm not an expert, and two, I'm not qualified or licensed to offer that kind of advice. But what I will tell you is what I use to do my books. Now, just to go over something that I've covered in a previous video, I started selling on eBay at the back end of 2017. I knew I wanted to make this a business, so I registered with the taxman as a business from the get-go. My experience previous to that with eBay was purely selling my old stuff I no longer needed anyway. At that point I didn't even know that people sold as businesses. I thought it was just private sellers just selling stuff that they didn't need anymore, combined with maybe a few big players, the likes of the Argoses of this world and Tesco's and such like. And part and parcel of deciding to do this as a business, I always wanted to do it properly from the get-go and fulfill my obligations. One thing that I learned about, fortunately, very early on, and it was off the back of watching other YouTubers and reselling YouTubers, was a bit of software called QuickBooks. Now, this video isn't sponsored by anybody, and this channel isn't that big anyway to court sponsors or anything like that. But QuickBooks is absolutely fantastic for self-employed individuals. It very easily holds your hand, guides you through the process of how to keep your books and what you need to be watching out for. It doesn't replace a professional accountant, it never will. There's a lot of things that an accountant will be able to tell you that the information just isn't available from QuickBooks. That goes off their years of experience and that kind of thing. But QuickBooks, particularly for a small business like myself, is absolutely fantastic. It just takes the effort out of manual bookkeeping and things like that, and it helps you along. It gives you reminders about things that you need to keep on top of. It gives you a running total of how much tax is due through the year, so you can keep that squirreled away, and come the end of the tax year it helps you through the process of submitting your returns to HMRC. Now, I appreciate everything I'm talking about is for the UK market. I'm based in the UK, and this is where my business operates. I sell around the world through eBay, but my point of contact is eBay themselves. So because all my income is generated in the UK, this is where I pay my tax. I keep saying the word tax, and I appreciate in the fact that I know it's going to terrify a lot of people. You really don't need to. There's certainly nothing to be afraid of as far as tax is concerned anyway. Nobody's out to ruin you. In fact, quite the opposite. If you're being successful, then you're paying your contribution to society, and the idea is the country does I won't get into politics or anything like that, but you get the idea. That's all I wanted to cover as far as that's concerned. One thing I would say on that is obviously go on the government website and look into your own personal obligations. Don't be frightened about it. Nobody's there to trip you up. It's very, very helpful. HMRC themselves are really, really helpful. See, the other reason I mentioned it this morning is because I've had the email off HMRC to tell me my return's due. Even though my return is due, it's just the me providing them with the figures of my earnings, profit, so on and so forth. It's not actually payable until the end of January, so I'll notify them this morning at some point, and obviously I've got then until the end of January to pay that bill. So just to summarise, I'll recommend strongly QuickBooks as far as something to help you along as far as your tax obligations are concerned. It really, really is super, super helpful, super easy to use as well, which is the most important thing, particularly somebody as mentally challenged as I can be sometimes, particularly where figures are concerned. So check out QuickBooks. It's dead cheap. I think it's somewhere in the region at £9 a month, and you get a bit of an introductory offer as well. It's money well spent. It's absolutely money well spent, because come the end of the year, when you've got a stack of receipts and a stack of scribbled down notes that you've made that you can't make head and tail of, QuickBooks completely replaces all of that. It literally just enables you to print off all your figures in a nice little summary. That information can then be transferred to your tax return on the government website. So check it out, guys. Anyway, there's going to be another part of this video this morning. We're going to be picking the orders from the weekend, and a reasonable weekend, so we should shoot over to the lockup now. So just up the unit now, tax return is done for another year. That's not due to be paid now until the end of January next year, which is a bit of a Brucey bonus. That took me about half an hour end to end, so no great stress. So what we're going to do now is pick the orders from the weekend. We're looking at a total of 14 orders for just over 340 quid. Good cross section of items this weekend actually. It's going out, nothing of any major value, all around about the same kind of price range. So let's get them picked and packed and off to the courier. So first up, we've got two of these baby walkers. They've been in stock probably about a week, give or take. That two. These were a supermarket pickup. I picked them up for £14 and they're going out for £32 each. 3A1. Another one of these Scooby-Doo figures featured in an early video. I've had these in stock so long, I can't remember how much I paid for them. I think it's about 50p each, and that's gone out for £7.94 including the postage. Next up, another supermarket pickup. This will clear me out of these actually. Lego's always a safe bet, particularly if you can get new sets on clearance. Pick these up from the supermarket. They were either £8 or £10. I want to say £8 each, and they're going out for £31.90 including the postage each. Another item I've had in for a bit of time. I think I paid £3 or £4 on clearance for these, again probably from a supermarket. I've had these in about a year, and that's gone out for £14.95 including the postage. A lot of this game is all about timing. Last week I was in a local Tesco's. I went in and they were literally just putting out a load of items on clearance, and these were really deep clearances as well. This particular doll I paid £4 for, and that's going out for £24.99 including the postage. Next up, some Converse. Converse can be a bit hit and miss. The plain colours are not always a good bet, but if you've got unusual ones like these are, or if you've got leather ones, they're always a safe bet. So I turned £3 there from a charity shop into £13, and they're nice and easy to package and get off as well. Next up is the Friends board game. This is probably one of the few seen it board games that there's actually any money in. These are a bit up and down. If you can get these quite new, then they're a really safe bet. You can even sell them for spares. This one's complete. I've checked it all and it's in good condition. Got a bit jiggled about in storage. I'd say the vast majority of the Seen It games, I just avoid them. They're just not worth your time. There's no money in them at all. But the Friends one holds its value really well, particularly if you can get one that's new, like I say. Also as well, some of the Harry Potter Seen It's are worthwhile checking out as well. I would say just the standard Seen It's, the pop Seen It's, or the sporty ones, I'd give them a wide berth. They're not really worth entertaining. So this one, charity shop pickup again for £2 to £3, and that's going out at £17.95 including the postage. Now every now and again you chance your hand and it doesn't actually pay off. I picked up a load of these Skylander figures. I think it was something like 60 of them. And in the grand scheme of things, and in hindsight, wasn't really worth doing, because the length of time it took to list them compared to the return isn't great. You're probably looking at, I paid not very much for all of them, but they're only going out for £6 to £8. So net profit, probably after postage, because he's going out of as a small parcel because of the size of them, probably looking at only about £2 profit in them. So I mean, it's bread and butter stuff, and it sounds very snobby to say, but when you compare that to the time it's taken to list them, pack them and all the rest of it, it's a bit of a fail, to be honest. There we have it, trigger happy, interesting looking chap. 4D2. Again, this is something that I did my research on, check the completes. There's something that doesn't sell through very quickly, but it's good money in it. I paid very little for this. Again, it's part of a bundle from a charity shop. Hand cut lead crystal decanter set, very nice. This one was actually engraved for the previous owner, but the buyer didn't seem to mind that, so that's all good. I completely forget how much I paid for this. It wouldn't have been very much. Also, you need to be careful of sending things like that in the post. In this case, I'm very fortunate in that the buyer lives quite relatively local and is coming to collect, and that's gone out for £60. Obviously no postage in that because of collecting. Something else that's worthwhile spending a bit of time researching is books. You can pick them up for pennies, and quite often there's really good value in them. The Harry Potter ones, particularly, any of them, if you can get a full set of hardback by Bloomsbury, very important that it's Bloomsbury, then they can go for £100 plus, depending on the condition of the books. What you're looking for and the Harry Potter books is on the details page. See, it says first edition. Check as much details as you can as possible on these, because this particular one, although it's a first edition, is only going out for, I think it's about £15. But like I say, some of them can go out, particularly if you've got a full set, go out for very good money indeed. In fact, I've seen first editions, depending on the serial number, go out for up to £500. So this is definitely, they call it a bolo, B-O-L-O, be on the lookout, that's what BOLO stands for, and these books are definitely worth researching. And again, another one is that's gone out this weekend is the Old Enid Blyton. Look into your books, guys, because like I say, there can be really good money in them. So this Harry Potter I paid £1 for, and it's going out for £16.89. A book of brownies is, I paid pennies for this because I bought a job lot of them very cheap, and that's going out for £5.98 including the postage. That will go out as a large letter, so you're probably only looking at £1.40 to send that out. And there we have it, the weekend's orders. Let's get these packed up. what I thought I'd do while I just printing the labels here is show you this very handy bit of kit. It's a thermal printer. It doesn't take any ink at all, and it's really quick to print off your postage labels, and it does exactly what it says on the tin. Very quickly, individual postage labels, and increases your productivity. And obviously once you've bought it, they're not cheap. I think this one was about 150 quid. But if you compare that to the fact that I'll never have to buy any ink ever because it's a thermal printer, and also as well the increase in productivity, it's a well worthwhile investment. I'll link it down below anyway to if anybody's interested in getting one for themselves, then you can get it through that link. That's the weekend's orders packed, and that's me done for the day. So I'll wrap this video up here. If you've seen anything in the video that you found useful, please give this video a thumbs up. It really does help the channel. Also, if you've seen anything in the video that you want more information on, any equipment that I use, any questions at all, really, leave them in the comment section below this video, and I'll get back to you as soon as humanly possible. If you're not already subscribed, please consider subscribing with the subscribe button, and I shall catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.